As we pass the 1 year anniversary of the day the COVID-19 pandemic changed all of our lives forever, there's probably not been a group that's been more affected by the isolation that the pandemic has brought in than residents of long term care facilities. While our friends at Some Theatre once again are stepping up and helping them out by providing a little bit of entertainment with their production of Through the Window. Happy today to be joined by Judith Schultz, artistic associate from Some Theatre. Judith, once again, just seems like this is kind of what Some Theatre does: respond to the situation and find a way to create entertainment. You know, you've got your Theatre in the Park series that you do where you're having to put on a show in a different locale every night. Last summer, you had the mobile show that walked through the streets of Saskatoon in the pandemic, and this one, you're taking the show to residents at long term care facilities. This is just kind of what you folks do.
Totally, yeah. It's part of our mandate is that we find the needs in the community, and then we take our creative minds and we create something that can respond to those needs. And it's a beautiful way of making theater rather than just taking a funny story and making it into a show. Instead, we take in particular this show, we take words directly from the community members and we create a show specifically based for them and about them.
So these shows, they'll be taking place by and large in parking lots, courtyards, that sort of thing, where long-term care facility residents can check them out in a safe environment. And as you mentioned, it's actually based on the words of these people who are living in long-term care facilities. Can you talk about that side of things, the interviews that you did that helped inform the show, and how they contributed to the production?
Yeah, for sure. The interviews themselves come from, as you said, long-term residents in long-term care facilities, and we had chats with them about things like what have they missed over the past year, what are they excited to do once they can leave their rooms or leave their care facilities, and what brought them joy. And then taking those responses, we respectfully and carefully crafted them into little vignettes in the show, or one line might inspire something to be created, an image or a theme that we then take and interpret into the show.
And as I mentioned, once again, you're going to be staging these in unusual circumstances in terms of where the show is physically going to be located, in a bunch of different locations, and often parking lots, courtyards, that sort of thing. That's got to provide some challenges, I would imagine, when you're thinking those terms, staging that kind of show, and also the kind of production where people might not necessarily be able to hear you all that well. It's got to lean very heavily on the visual, I would imagine.
That's correct. Yeah, we had to work quite hard to develop the language of the show as well as the world of the show. So we learned very quickly that we couldn't, like you said, rely on audio. So the show is very visual, and it relies a lot on lots of color and things that are larger than life, so that they can be seen from a greater distance. And yes, we will be we will be enjoying the challenges of spring outside. So performing, we're going to practice or rehearse in some slushy snow in the next couple days to get ourselves prepared for the worst spring can throw at us.
Yeah, that's right. One more obstacle to deal with, I guess. You got that melting, you got those giant puddles, but in some
Mhm.
ways, we're all happy to see those here with the arrival of spring. Another thing that's just arrived, you've got some interesting merch that's going along with this show. Tell us about that.
Yes, yes. This show, as with all of some shows, we couldn't do it without the support of generous donors and grants. And so we've come up with a way for you to support Some Theatre, but get something lovely out of the process. And as of yesterday, we launched our very first merch campaign, and it is this lovely bunny hug, bunny hug.
Ah, that's beautiful.
So yes, we're quite happy with it, and we hope you folks will be too. And folks can buy it off of our website at sometheater.com.
And I'm guessing that would also be a good destination if folks wanted some more information on this show itself.
Absolutely, yes. The show itself is not open to the public because we wanted to have it specifically for those residents. However, we will be making an online offering that will be a recording of the show combined with hopefully some reactions from some care home residents later in April.
Fantastic. Well, sounds like some theater doing it once again, doing what they do so well, adapting to the situation and creating outstanding entertainment. Judith, thanks so much for chatting with me today and good luck with the performances.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.